Boom, you looking for this?
Welcome back to Boom Shot. I'm Kale. This is Colby, and
Yes, sir.
today it's March 16th, and they have Disney Plus has now added a bunch of
It's a
new
big day.
Marvel content. Yeah, it's a big day. A bunch of new Marvel content to Disney Plus. We're gonna go over how to watch that stuff, what all they added, what this means for the MCU, and let's waste no time. Let's jump right into the video. So, first thing that first housekeeping thing that we need to do before we get into what exactly they added, there's some mature shows on there. So they added the Defenders Saga is what they're calling it now. So that's like Daredevil, so on and so forth. But basically, in order to watch these shows, as soon as you open up the app or you open it up on, your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, so on and so forth, it's going to prompt you and ask you to put in your password. And basically, it's going to ask you if you want to have is it TVMA content? It's going to ask you to set your content filter to TVMA. And so then you can do that for your account and for every other account. And then you can always go back and change it to go press edit profile button. And then you press on your profile. And then you can go down and it's the same thing. It says content filter. And then you can set it back to like TV 14 or TVMA, whatever you add for parents, like for parents' sake.
For people that, for me, I didn't get this when I pulled up the app. So, like you said, maybe it's different. Like when we first created our account, I may have been like a child account.
Yeah.
And so I went on my dad's, and then as soon as I logged into his account, then it was like for everyone else, do you want to increase the limit? And I'm almost positive it's gonna have to be MA, not R. It's gonna have to be mature.
I didn't even see an R setting on there because I don't think there's anything rated R like in terms of movies on Disney Plus, at least yet. So I think it's only TVMA. That's all I saw, but maybe they changed it. But basically, if you don't get a prompt, you can always go change it. Like you may have to go to the host account and change it, but I didn't have to do that because I'm not the host account, and I was able to change it.
I was kind of panicking. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, it goes TVMA, R, and then 14, and then 13.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure you're gonna have to go MA, especially for like the Punisher, probably.
Yeah.
And
okay. I didn't even know that. Okay. Yeah. So that goes over how to activate it. So what all did they add to Disney Plus today, Colby?
It's quite a few things, and honestly, we talked about this quite extensively. We didn't know if they're gonna add everything.
Yeah.
Which I was concerned about because I recently bought Netflix just to watch these shows.
Yeah.
And they added everything. So I was quite pleased with that. And honestly, we talked about this in our last video, I think. We thought Disney was going to mess it up, man.
Yeah, we did.
Or at least in the comments where there's a lot of people saying, why isn't America getting this? At least at the time, but they gave us everything, and so chronologically, you want to watch Daredevil season 1 first, and quite possibly the best of the 13 shows, in my opinion.
Yes. So in the Defender Saga, they added Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and the Defenders. That's all they added. They added everything.
Yes, that would be everything. There's I'll just go over real quickly the order. I said, you start with Daredevil season 1, and then you go to Jessica Jones season 1, and then straight back into Daredevil season 2. And let me tell you, I said I was going to go quickly, but it was hard for me after watching Daredevil season 1 not to go straight into season 2. Yeah. But I watched Jessica Jones season 1, and it was honestly quite phenomenal. It's worth a watch. Daredevil season 2 is great. Luke Cage season 1, Iron Fist season 1, and the Defenders, Punisher season 1, Jessica Jones season 2, Luke Cage season 2, Iron Fist season 2, Daredevil season 3, Punisher season 2, and then finally Jessica Jones season 3.
Okay, so yeah, that's the list to watch. And kind of like how Star Wars fans have a certain way they like to watch the movies, and the MCU has a certain way they release movies. I haven't actually watched any of these shows, so I'll have to get into them. But basically, I'm gonna watch it in this order because this should be Like this is how Netflix released it for you to watch.
I would
So
suggest it. I would suggest it.
yeah,
And honestly, I'll be honest with you here. I watched Daredevil season one, then Jessica Jones, and then Daredevil season two, like I said. But then I
yeah,
skipped straight to the Defenders because I knew that was going to be important to Daredevil season three, and I
yeah,
couldn't wait whatever it is, like 7 more series to Daredevil season three. So I went Defenders and then Daredevil season three. But
yeah.
if
Okay,
if
okay.
you have the will to do that, then yeah, that's the way to do it. But Daredevil's just such a good show; it's hard not to watch
Yeah.
that
Okay.
series first.
And they all build on each other is what it looks like. So
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. It's like a mini MCU, like a even honestly probably even more connected than Marvel's show universe right now. So that's pretty cool.
yeah. I guess that's why they call it a saga, which is nice.
Yeah. So that leads us into our next topic is what else has been added that isn't the Defender Saga, because they did add more. Disney Plus dropped a ton of content today.
Dude, dude, let me tell you, when I first got on there and my account hadn't been switched to MA, I was like, okay. Well, I started looking for other stuff first, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'll just find Daredevil and all that later. And I came across one of the most underrated shows of all time, in my opinion, Agents of Shield, all 7 seasons in its full glory.
Yes.
And let
The
me tell you, I was
return,
hyped.
dude.
I was hyped.
Yeah, dude.
And this gives me a glimmer of hope that it might be canon, which we'll get to that in a second.
Yes. So they added all 7 seasons of Agents of Shield. They added a ton of X-Men movies. I saw the original X-Men, X2, X-Men: The Last Stand.
Yep.
They already. I think
Was
they already
Dark
had
Phoenix
like,
on there?
yeah, Dark Phoenix, the latest one, Apocalypse. I'm pretty sure was already on there. So they have almost like every. I think they have like nearly every Netflix or every X-Men movie on there now. So that's cool.
Here's the interesting thing to note. I do not think Logan is on there at the moment.
I didn't see Logan or Deadpool, so that's important to note.
Yeah, I mean,
Hopefully we'll be
eventually,
getting those out of date.
hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. And then we got Marvel's Runaways, which I actually haven't watched this show either, but you watched the first couple seasons, I think. So you're more
Yeah,
familiar with this show.
honestly, I didn't know there was a third season. I didn't know what happened to the show at all, really. But
Yeah.
the first 2 seasons were pretty solid, honestly. I think I watched it when I was like sick. Somehow both seasons came out and I was sick. So I watched like the whole season in 1 or 2 days for one and two. And then I thought the show ended, but I guess it didn't. So I'm pretty interested to see where season three takes.
Okay. And then finally we have Inhumans, which not a lot of press about this show. Once again I haven't watched it. It
And
is
I watched it,
yeah.
and many people. Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you there,
No, you're good. Good. Take it away.
but many people say it's the worst thing Marvel's created. Um, but
Yeah.
we'll get into some more about this in the next part. But
Yeah, it could have important ramifications. But yeah, like you said, so this leads us to our last topic is what does this mean that these things are now canon in the MCU? And let's start with Daredevil. Is Daredevil canon in the MCU?
that's a big question. I mean, the first thing people think of is in No Way Home,
Yes.
and okay, that means Daredevil is canon. But does that mean our loved and known Daredevil is canon? And that's where things
Um,
get kind of cloudy.
yes, exactly. And so
Um,
what do you think? Do you think that the Charlie Cox that we saw in No Way Home is the same Charlie Cox that you saw in Daredevil season 1 through 3?
Before today, I didn't think so, and I'm not saying it's confirmed that he is. I'm still leaning towards he's a variant at this point.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
since they added everything, that gives me more hope. What I thought they were going to do is leave out Iron Fist because it was the least favorite of many in that saga. Leave
Yeah.
out maybe Punisher and just bring in Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Daredevil. But
Yeah.
since they added everything, that tells me that instead of just picking and choosing and then making what they choose variant, they
Yeah,
might just add it all in as canon, which
and
I would
that's
love
important.
personally.
Yeah. I know a lot of people aren't high. Like, sorry to interrupt if I did, but I know a lot of people aren't high on Iron Fist and the actor, but Iron Fist is a great character. One that I know Daredevil's great, but Iron Fist is one character that I'd like to see explored. Like between him and Shang-Chi as two like the two best fighters in the MCU. I think that, or in the comics, I think that would be cool to see.
Yeah, I think I've heard that a new Iron Fist, the MCU Iron Fist might debut in Shang-Chi too. But
Ooh, dude, that
honestly,
would be
he,
crazy.
that would be sick. But here's my thing. I would almost rather keep the same Iron Fist. I didn't think he was horrible. I would rather
Yeah,
keep the same Iron Fist if that means we keep the same Daredevil and he's not a variant.
yeah, I
That's
agree.
how much I love the Daredevil from. I was gonna say the Netflix verse, but I guess it's just the Defenders Saga now.
Yeah, Disney Plus has got to rebrand everything. Like they claimed that Star Wars: The Clone Wars was a Disney Plus original.
Yeah,
Um, so next up we got Agents of Shield. This, like you said, this is your one of your favorites. What does this mean for canon?
and this has been talked about for years. This is a debate that's been had many times. And the end of season 7, Fitz uses time travel. Many say better than how it was done in Endgame, but it was the same type of thing, the same type of time travel.
Yeah,
So I think that's maybe how they excuse them not and nobody getting snapped. They were in like a different universe, maybe at the
yeah,
time or something. I don't know. It's very cloudy. I hope it's canon, but it's the same thing with Daredevil. I hope they don't make Coulson a variant or something. I hope
yeah.
it's the same Coulson we saw in Avengers the whole time.
Hmm.
Because to me, it just would make Agents of Shield more impactful. If we're watching a variant Coulson that wasn't from Avengers, then it's like, man,
Yeah, it
because
would give people a reason to go watch Agents of
yeah,
Shield and get caught up.
I mean Nick Fury himself uh was in one of the seasons. I'm not sure what season it was, but I know Samuel L. Jackson made an appearance, and I'll say this: um, I would love to see Daisy Johnson, aka Quake, in the MCU.
Dude, that would be cool. That would be epic. I've seen a little bit of Agents of Shield, so that would be cool.
Yeah, I definitely think the earlier seasons are better, but don't I ain't gonna lie to you, season 7 redeemed it for me. That season 7 was phenomenal,
Yeah.
but I
And
would
then,
love to see Chloe Bennett come back as Quake
dude,
in the
yeah, I
MCU.
agree. I think we want to see a lot of these shows become, or like at least these shows become canon. But as our next topic, or as our next on the list is the X-Men. What do you think about, like, do you think they're canon, or like you think this is going to be like a variant type thing? Like, what do you think?
But before the trailer, I would have said, no way, they're just gonna rebrand everything X-Men. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But now that uh, Patrick Stewart was in that trailer, I mean, it's hard. I mean, I'm hearing he's a variant too,
yeah.
but it's just hard to say. I mean, at this point in time, it's just hard to say. What do you think?
I'll feel like there'll be variants just because it gives Disney more creative license on characters and stuff like that. Like, I feel like if any show has a chance of being considered canon, it would be Agents of Shield. But like you said with Daredevil and X-Men, like I just think that it gives Disney more of a creative license to change the character, maybe for good, but probably for the worse in certain aspects, especially with beloved characters like Daredevil. But back to the X-Men, like I think they'll take that creative license and make them variants so they can put their own spin on it.
And to me, the difference between X-Men and Daredevil is that X-Men they've had plenty of movies. They've had their time, and I feel like Logan was a good conclusion, which I know it
Yeah,
kind of pointed towards the future too. But honestly, I mean, that was a solid bookend.
Yeah, it was.
Um, so I feel like if they brought in a variant, I wouldn't be as upset as if they did for Daredevil, because Daredevil's story to me is unfinished.
Yeah,
I want to
I
see the
agree.
same Daredevil moving forward. If you bring in a variant for the X-Men, I'm like, okay, we've already seen enough.
Yeah, I agree. Um, Next we've got Marvel's Runaways. What do you think? I'll be honest. I don't think this is going to be canon at all. I don't even think there'll be variants. I just think they just added the show like for the sake of saying that they have all the Marvel content. What about you?
Yeah, something interesting we researched before we started recording this video is that uh, sorry if I butcher this name, Anjali Bhimani, who is in
Okay.
Runaways, has been cast for Miss Marvel.
Okay.
And
Oh
obviously
yeah.
that could mean absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But
But
there is the off chance that they make Runaways canon with casting her in the show, in Miss Marvel.
yeah, could that? I mean, very well it could be. I mean, like we said, Disney has all the creative license in the world. These are all their property now. So if they want to make them canon and variants, they can, which is cool. Because like I've never I don't know I haven't watched the show, but just for like new characters' sake.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, this one,
and then
I feel like it's okay as like its own story. So, I
yeah, I
mean,
agree. I agree with that.
either way with that one.
And then finally, we are on the Inhumans. What do you think about this? Actually, you had an interesting theory about this. Let you can not theory, but like you read something interesting about this.
Yeah, I've heard that Black Bolt from the Inhuman show. I'm gonna look up the actor's name right now. He could possibly make an appearance in the Illuminati with Patrick Stewart.
That would be
Um,
crazy, dude. That would be so crazy.
and
Black Bolt's amazing.
yeah, from what I remember from his character in the show, it was very interesting because he couldn't speak, or else he just
Yeah,
obliterated the earth. So it was an interesting dynamic. One character I remember liking from this show was Karnak.
Karnak. Yeah, Karnak's. I like the Inhumans in general. Like I think they're very cool. Like obviously Kamala Khan is an Inhuman, but in the MCU we think they're taking a different route, but we're not sure. But yeah, this
Yeah.
would be a cool way to tie the Inhumans with Kamala if there's any way possible.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if this show has great potential, I know
Yeah,
I know it's been memed into oblivion and it had a rough go.
yeah.
But I mean the characters, dude, you got Medusa, Karnak, Black Bolt. I mean, I, I just think it has potential. And if you remake it, okay, but if you give the budget that Disney Plus has now to this show, I think it with the same
Oh
actors,
yeah,
I think it could work.
yeah. With the writers, the oversight of Kevin Feige, like I think because I don't know if these shows were being over if Kevin Feige was over these shows, but yeah, like in the interconnectedness, if they decide to take all of these properties and make them canon, I think that would be a great thing to do for Disney because I like the Inhumans and I would like to, like I said earlier, I think it would be cool to see them and get their own show and see them being bridged into the MCU, but maybe that's at a later date. So we just don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, and that pretty much wraps up the video as a whole. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Um, yeah, it's exciting, man. For anybody that
Yeah.
hasn't watched Daredevil, I guess I'll close my part with this. For anybody that hasn't watched Daredevil, in my opinion, it's now the best show on Disney Plus. So if you're old enough, I'll say that mature enough, as the ratings suggest, go watch.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like I said, I haven't watched it, and I need to give it a watch whenever I can find the time. But my closing thoughts is Disney Plus is becoming even more of an entertainment empire.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
they have now pretty much assimilated everything except for Sony's Spider-Man movies. So wait for that next. That's my closing thoughts. Wait for that next.
There you go. Yeah, that's good.
And that pretty much wraps up the video. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.